Hey, what's up everyone? Today we'll be doing cast testing with my new BFS rod. That's right. If you guys haven't watched my unboxing video of the Dobyns Sierra Ultra Finesse casting rod, the BFS rod from them, you guys need to check out the video on the top right hand corner. But I got the 740 version. I'll read the serial number for you guys. It's the SA740C, which is a 7-foot 4-inch version. This is a light power rod, fast tip, rated down to 1/16 ounce. Now I paired this rod with my Aldebaran BFS XG. This is kind of what you guys all wanted, and I believe that it does fit this rod because this is technically a bass rod, right? So my Alphas Air, my Daiwa Alphas Air TW is more of a super finesse reel, which I'll leave to my ultra finesse rods for throwing, you know, super tiny stuff down to 1 gram. But yeah, this thing is rated down to 1/16 ounce, all right? So I am gonna throw a 1/16 ounce. We're gonna test this out, all right? But I don't see myself throwing 1/16 ounce for bass at all, really. Unless I'm fishing dink ponds, like, you know, right here. My cast testing pond is a dink pond, right? So yeah, I'm gonna cast it, see how it goes, and then we'll increase the weight, various lures, and see how it goes. Hope you guys are excited as I am, because I love new tackle. So let's get to it. All right, just in case you guys have not seen the unboxing video yet, here is the rod. Okay, looks pretty nice, right? The SA740C. Again, that's the model number if you guys want to buy it. Got it from Discount Tackle. You guys can check out the link within the description below. But here are the specs. Okay, not gonna spend too much time on it, but I have 4-pound test line here. This is from Surinoya, the Crane Dance. I don't recommend the line. It has a little bit memory, which I don't like. Maybe because water is a little cold, the season cold. I have no idea, but you know, I like my other stuff a lot better, like the Suffix. So I'm gonna try other line going forward. But yeah, 4-pound test line, diameter, thin stuff. I got my Euro tackle. This is their newer version, their ice fishing jig Z Viber. And this is the micro version, 1/16 ounce. So let's do some casting and see how it goes. We'll cast towards that water fountain right there. And I did an update check. And that's approximately 84 feet from where I stand, like right here. So let's get to it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm put the brakes around 3.5. Ducks need to get out of the way. And yeah, it looks like part of my casting is gonna be impeded by those ice. But it's okay. Let's give it a shot first. First cast, and there is a little bit backlash right there. I didn't really want to cast too hard because given that this is a long rod, it does have a lot more force, right? So it looks like I definitely need to play around with my casting. You can see that, you know, it's kind of memory-ish with the line, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, let me jack the brakes up and give it a next cast again, and then we'll start estimating distances. I just want to figure out the casting so I can cast properly. So let's jack this up just a little bit to 4. Let's try again. It did go to the left though, I realized, and it went to the left again. So although this whole setup could cast to the left, I really think that potentially this might be more of a 2 gram. I think 1/16 ounce is about 1.7 something grams. But yeah, it's okay. You have to adjust your casting in order to get it straight. I'm still going a little bit to the left. So although that's good distance, I think that might be 45% of the way to the fountain. You know, it goes to the left a little bit. I think if I just cast soft and slow, I'll get it more accurate, but I won't get the distance. But let me just try for a second. Yeah, that's definitely more accurate if I go slow and, you know, adjust my casting. And that was like more like 35 to 40% of the way. And I cast a little further right there, but I adjusted my casting, you know, timing. That was 45% again. But yeah, you have to adjust yourself in order to cast this 1/16 ounce. So, you know, like I said, I don't expect, ooh, that was probably like 55% of the way. There's a little wind here, by the way, guys, just very little, just barely. But yeah, I think, I really think that this is, this rod could do it. You know, if you guys have a specific casting style, you know, it may need to adjust a little bit, just like me. But other than that, you know, you can cast 1/16 ounce. Pass. Not with all flying, you know, sparks and everything, but you could do it. All right, time to switch to another lure and see how it goes. All right, guys. Now I got a 2.5 gram spoon. We know this thing's gonna fly. It's likely gonna fly in to the slab of ice over there. We'll see. I will leave this at 4 breaks first because this is a heavier lure. And okay, it landed right in the ice. Well, that was easy to tell exactly how far that was. That was approximately 85% of the way. All right, let's jack the brake down a little bit more. Let's say 3.5, shall we? I know this is gonna fly. All right, that went past the fountain. I saw it. It went past the fountain. It's still on the ice. I would say that's like 105% of the way. That is pretty good. We'll do one more time. Looks like we don't need to spend too much time casting spoons, because spoons, you tell how, oh, no. Yeah, I went way past, and this time I went a little bit to the left because I kind of let the wind carry that one. But yeah, that was probably like 105 again. Overhand casting, side arm casting. Yeah, my side arm is a little bit more accurate. That backlash just a little bit because I didn't thumb it, and it fell short about 90% of the way. Two hand casting, went to a little left, a little backlash, 95% of the way. All right, so something's going on. I think when I try to strong arm cast this after jack the brakes down, it's not good. There is a threshold in the power, and as I mentioned earlier, I believe I said it earlier, this rod is longer, so you know, swinging it, it's gonna generate a little bit more force. Bound to happen. So I just need to figure out my sweet casting power spot, and I should be good to go. Can't wait to get warmer. I definitely will take this setup, go out, do a little bit more bass fishing, BFS bass fishing. So, you know, I'll be throwing out some jigs and stuff. And in fact, I'll throw 1 or 2 later in this video to see how far it goes. Yeah, I have thrown this one jig for a while, and I want to catch something with it. So, yeah, let's reel this up and let's go to the next lure. I am loving this spoon. This spoon could go so far, even it's 2.5 grams. Let's put a 3 or maybe 3.5. I'll see what I have in my bag. I throw 3s most often, especially with water with currents or, you know, deeper lakes than, you know, these ponds here. So that's something I want to throw. I also want to throw 16th ounce jig head with a plastic on. So let me tie something on. All right, the next one we're gonna throw is a 1/16 jig head with a 2-inch micro minnow. This is from Peter's Custom Trout Worms. Thank you, Peter, for sending me these. He sent me a whole bunch of different colors, also some trout worms. So we play around with those in the springtime. But right now, Jimbo's gonna take this one because this is technically one of my favorite colors. It's white and chartreuse. And as you can see, there is 5 swim baits in one little blister package, and one is rigged up with a nice jig head. This is a pretty good quality jig head if you ask me. Lead, not painted. And is it glued on? It might not be glued on. I don't know if there's any sort of a barb in there. It doesn't look like it does. So gluing this on is probably a good idea. So for folks who use soft plastic, always carry like a small stick of super glue. Cheap one is fine. You guys get it from like a dollar store. But anyway, let's put this on and see how this goes. All right, let's do first cast. Softly, a little thumbing. All right. So that was approximately 85% of the way. Not too bad, very accurate. So a 16th ounce jig head with a 2-inch plastic. That might be close to 3 grams, maybe like 2.8, 2.9. I know with the Euro Tackle, with their tungsten 1/16 ounce jig head and their very, very finesse B vibes, that's like 2.7. So this got to be a little bit heavier, just a little bit, because you know, it had the thicker belly, wider belly, and that cast was like 95% of the way. That is amazing. So I could likely use this rod for crappie fishing as well. Just throwing it out there, you know, you guys like crappie fishing, you guys like long poles, and you want to do like BFS crappie fishing, this might be it, because you could probably use like heavier jigs, you know? Like imagine yourself fishing like a river or, you know, bigger lakes, and you could probably have like 6-pound test line that says, you know, 4-pound test line or 8-pound test line. Put like an 1/8 ounce jig head, a 1/4 ounce jig head, you know, a nice swim bait, 3-inch grub tail, 3-inch swim bait. You catch bass, crappies, you catch just about everything, you know? So this is likely gonna be Jimbo's multi-species rod, throwing probably bigger stuff. You know, Jimbo will probably do like a versatile finesse fishing eventually, because I've been spending the last 2 years doing these type of finesse stuff. I started going for the budget stuff, right? Trying to get to like the ultra finesse stuff. You know, it's very hard to get there. But now that I have all those reels and stuff like that, technically all those reels that can't go ultra light, like super ultra light, I can still use it for like versatile BFS, right? So, you know, I can always backtrack to some of my old reels and see how that goes. But if you guys are interested in that, leave me a comment below. But so far, you know, my journey is all about ultralight, you know, the ultra finesse side. And this rod right here, I think it's pretty good, even though it's rated for light. You know, there are certain light aspect to it. You know, you guys work things from the 2 to 3 grams section, you know, it's still considered, you know, ultralight, right? So anyway, I'm done casting this guy. I'm actually pretty happy. I like casting 1/16th ounce jig head with plastic, so you probably see me doing it more often with something like this, but for bass fishing. So like I might use like a let's say a 1/16th ounce MegaBass Okashira jig head, right? It has, I think, a 1 or 2/0 hook. Then I throw a swim bait on, like a 3-inch swim bait, and be catching bass and maybe even snakeheads with it, you know? So it's gonna be interesting, but I am done casting this thing. Let's move on to the next lure. All right, fam. The next lure that I have here is the X-Wrap. This is the lightest X-Wrap that you can get that has the weight chamber system. I believe this is the 1/8 ounce version. So yeah, let's give it a shot, see how far this thing goes. I did switch over to single hook because Jimbo's gonna be using this for trout fishing too. Oh man, I got a little backlash a second ago when I first cast it out. Again, I think just having the brakes that high and also the long rod is gonna cause that to happen. I'm just overpowering it right now. So let's bring that back for a second and let's do another cast. This time softer. All right, I'm letting it go a little too early because I was afraid that well, let's just say I was trying to compensate for something that I wasn't familiar with. But that did go about 75% of the way, which is pretty far. I've thrown 1/8 ounce jerkbaits before, and you know, usually don't go that far, especially on windy days. All right, we have a longer rod, and also this is a nice jerkbait. So, whoa, that got to be like 80% of the way, maybe like between 80 and 85% of the way. That's pretty good. Let me rotate my body just a little bit. I think I'm standing just a little off after, you know, I bent down just a little bit to take a look. So that's why I keep going to the right just a little bit. But let's try again. Oh yeah, 85% of the way. You definitely could cast this Rapala a lot further than my other few jerkbaits I've been using, like the Euro tackle, the magnetic trout crank. But man, these stuff are expensive. Oh man, definitely expensive. Oh yeah, I try to cast super far with this one right there, and backlash. Yep, that's how jerkbaits are. All right, one more time, Jimbo. Accuracy is good too, I would say, for this specific jerkbait. All right, I went to the right a little bit. My side arm cast is just not ready yet, especially with this super long rod. I'm gonna do an overhead cast for a second. Overhead. What do you guys call it? Oh damn, it's that right there. Hopefully it didn't damage my jerkbait, but that was probably 80% of the way, like right at the edge. But yeah, this is very far. Let me put on the Euro tackle right now, and then we'll compare the difference between these two jerkbaits too. Before I tie them on, here you go. The two jerkbaits, as you can see, the Euro tackle is just a little tad bit shorter. This is probably like 3 inches. This is 2 inches. No, I guess this might be 2.5. But yeah, just a little longer. So yeah, let's tie this on and start throwing it. And man, my knees are cold. All right, let's cast this jerkbait. And just note that I also changed the hooks on these as well. And I believe this originally was lighter than 1/8 ounce, not exactly at the 3.5 in the first place. And then once I swapped this over, I think it was like a more 3.3. So it is lighter. So let's give it a shot. Do some casting, make sure my angle is right on my camera. All right, soft cast. Wow, look at that. Right before that, the edge of the ice. That's not too bad. That's actually pretty good. Dude, this long rod helps cast really far. All right, so I would say that's that might be 80% of the way. Oh, there's the backlash, and it went to the right a little bit. Oops. Yeah, it's definitely harder to cast this guy when there's a little bit of wind. Nature of the beast, I guess. But I am still pretty stoked, pretty happy that it cast that far. So this is what I'll do. Jimbo will try to cast one more time to the center, softly, not too hard. All right, so if I want to cast without any backlash, I could still do it at 3.5, but I cast softer, and that's like 75% of the way. I mean, that's still amazing compared to some other times I've been casting. That's a lot less terrible. That was probably like 55% of the way. Backlash too. But yeah, this lure right here definitely a little bit more backlashy for BFS, but it's a pretty darn good looking jerkbait if you ask me. All right, one more time. Jimbo will try overhead cast. Definitely a lot more accurate, and looks like that might be like between 70, yeah, maybe around 75% of the way. All right, that's not too bad. So yeah, surprisingly, this rod could cast these jerkbaits a lot further. Huh. Here's the next lure, the knockoff version of the Trout and Surger, Smith Trout and Surger, whatever. But yeah, this guy, it's awesome. It rocked last time when I did some wild trout fishing. I am definitely gonna use this a lot more. It's basically a stick bait that when you let it drop, it just flutter down. Kind of like a lipless jerkbait, you call it. You know, when you actually pull it, it goes side by side. Kind of like it's like a spoon, but only wobbles this far. So I guess you can say it's a jerkbait. And I'm letting it land right now. I don't know if you guys see it, but it's pretty much settled down. Belly always landing down first. Oh yeah. You know, I'm watching this, the way that it flutters down. I can't believe that they actually made a knockoff version on AliExpress, and it's such an awesome one. I don't think I'm sharing it with you guys. this lure, not yet, not until trout season's over. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. 3-gram lure, let's go. Oh, what the hell did it go? Oh, wow. Okay, so this thing here is 3 grams. It went a little to the right, but that was at least close to 90% of the direction. Well, 90% of the distance. Let me adjust my casting again. Wow. Whoa, it went 105. Dude, I thought I almost lost this guy because it went over those ice stuff, the frozen water. But yeah, that went way past, but there's a little backlash. I better get this quick because I don't want it gets stuck in the line. There is a line holding that fountain together. All right, so I'm actually on the ice, so not too bad. But yeah, this lure is surprising, man. I should find out. Oh wow, no way, guys. 105 went right behind the freaking fountain. But yeah, I was saying that should freaking stock up on these, but I don't like the packaging. Like Jimbo would have bought like 1,000 of these and sell it for trout season, but like they spelled it wrong. They spelled it completely wrong. T-P-O-U-T-I-N. Surger. But yeah, instead of trout and surger, it's T-poutin. I'll tell you what, those trout definitely be pouting when I hook this in their freaking jaw. This thing will cast so far on this setup. It casts pretty far actually on my Zephyr setup too. So I like it. 3 grams, this whole setup. Beautiful, very, very beautiful. Anyway guys, I think I'm done casting these light lures. I'm gonna throw 2 more lures and just call it a day. These are gonna be my bass fishing lures. Obviously, I'm gonna do Ned rigging in the future. I'm not gonna do a Ned rig on this video, but I feel like this is gonna be a perfect Ned rigging setup here, especially for bass fishing. But I have something a lot more fun, and that is this guy right here. This is, we're not even gonna say it, but this is the blind one. This is a pirate. This is a pirate MegaBass, okay? They're dark sleeper, 1/4 ounce. This is probably the heaviest thing we'll be throwing today. Yeah, I'm missing an eye the other day, throwing it into trees over there, and it got stuck, and I was just ripping it, and it finally came off, but I lost the eyeball. But doesn't matter, this thing still should work really, really well. So I'm gonna tie this on and let's cast it, and Jimbo may even cast it a few times around the pond and see if I can pull up a bass or something. So BRB. So I got this thing tied on. I know I will be able to cast past that water fountain. So I'm actually gonna move over a little bit because I do not want to get this thing stuck on the line, because last time I actually cast one of my lures, I cast way past into the fountain, and when I pulled it onto the fountain, it just got hooked up, okay? So this is a heavy lure, expensive lure. So Jimbo's gonna cast this way onto the ice, and it actually tells, I exactly know where it's at. So that's like maybe 110% of the way. So probably like, when we do the math, probably like 90 something feet, close to 100. So that's not too bad, man. This is definitely gonna make it very, very fun fishing for bass, especially for the banks. If you guys are bank fishing and you want BFS, oh man, that's like 115% of the way. Oh yeah, definitely 115% away. So far, very, very far. So yeah, that's very exciting. So if I catch my first MegaBass dark sleeper fish ever, it's probably gonna happen today, hopefully. All right, so guys, I fished for a little bit, didn't get any bites. So Jimbo's gonna do his last lure. It's gonna be very similar to the dark sleeper, but in the fly world, this is the sculpin pattern tied with a skull head. All right, this thing right here, I think it's like 1/8 ounce. So definitely a little lighter than this, but once you touch water with any sort of fur, you know it's gonna get a little heavier. But yeah, this is pretty cool, eh? Jimbo's gonna be throwing some fly fishing lures on BFS. This is definitely a bigger lure for, you know, bigger fly rods and stuff like that. But hey, man, it's a popular pattern. Especially, it's supposed to, you know, fall down, sit like this, just like this dark sleeper. And I'm hoping that if I could create a smaller, there is a smaller one, by the way. But yeah, if I could cast a smaller one, then that's be fine. You know, I could do some trout fishing with it, or I could do some smallie fishing in the creeks. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna tie a few more during this winter time, and I hope I get to inspire a few other BFS folks to dip into the fly fishing realm. Try some of these skull heads. You guys get these pretty cheap on AliExpress, cheaper than, you know, Orvis and stuff like that, or, you know, any fly stores in the States. But if you guys want to support a specific store in the States, obviously I'm not gonna stop you. But Jimbo's gonna let you guys know the cheapest is obviously overseas and AliExpress. But let me tie this on, let's cast it out. The type of hair we have here is actually rabbit, so zonker. This is a zonker hide, okay? A rabbit hide with the fur on, dyed. This is green pumpkin, sculpin, what I forgot which one it is, but it looks like green pumpkin to me. So let's get to it. Olive green. I think olive green is what the fly fishing folks call this color. All right, oops, I touched the water already. All right, before I even cast it out, I'm just gonna flip it out very close by so you guys see, because we have clear waters here. And hold up, let me just get the right angle. I'm looking at my back screen. I want to see what happens when I lift it up in the water and drop it down. So it does do what I was telling you guys about. It does float, not float, it sinks down, hooks going up first. Sweet. Especially if you use specific hooks, like a jig hook. You could use bare jig hooks, or, you know, a straight shank hook. But I am liking this. The way that it falls down, the feathers sticking up. I guess the hair does trap some air, right? So it floats up a little bit. The current's gonna make it wavy. This is actually very, very awesome. Fly fishing lures are very finesse presentation. So you guys will expect Jimbo to use more flies on BFS. And like I said, I'm gonna inspire all you BFS folks to throw more hair stuff. So let's go. First cast. Right here. Ooh, 1/8 ounce. That went all the way to like 95% of the way. I like it. Dude, imagine there's a big lunker hiding right there, and they're waiting for that hair jig, because Jimbo have not thrown that hair jig yet for winter here. And by the way, my last trip when I went to trout fishing in the cold northern part of Pennsylvania in the mountains, I ran out of batteries. The batteries were draining so quick, right? Because it's cold. And Jimbo also didn't catch a lot of fish. We just go slow, you know, we just fished all day, and I ran out of battery. Oops, that's a bad cast, but that went far. The wind is blowing a little bit that way, but it looks like it's like 95% away. But yeah, all I was gonna say is I was throwing 1/16 ounce and 1/32 ounce jig heads, right? Hair on it, and it was catching tiny, tiny wild brown trout. It was pretty cool. Too bad I can't show it to you guys, but you know, it is what it is. No video footage. But I'm telling you guys, these hair jigs are awesome. That cast right there, by the way, is about 95% again. This is pretty cool. But I'm not gonna spend too much any longer casting, and that is pretty crazy. I cast 100% of the way right onto the fountain. Glad I pulled it right out of it. This is great. So for folks who likes hair jigs or tie-on stuff, look at this. It looks like a freaking wet animal after went in the water. But I could probably do some stuff and dress the body a little bit longer. This is just a quick prototype just to see how it looks like in the water. But yeah, Jimbo's gonna make some nifty ones that, you know, you guys probably see on Instagram or any other fly fishing pages. But man, this thing could cast far. I'm so excited. Happy with today's cast testing session. So guys, this is it for my cast testing video. But before I go, I do want to bend my rod one time for you because Jimbo didn't really catch a fish here today, so you guys don't see any rod bending action. And some of you guys may not even wait for the rod bending action, and you know, you guys may want to buy it now because they are actually restocking soon. I spoke to a buddy who actually designed these rods for Gary Dobyns, whatever. So yeah, he told me that the next shipment to retailers are coming out soon. So if you guys are interested in these rods, make sure you guys check out Discount Tackle. That's where I got mine from. But anyway, here's some rod bending right here. I guess I'll stand right by the snow right here so you guys can see that. And sorry, sometimes my voice gets muffled because I'm actually looking down and my jack is covering my mouth. But there you guys go. Look at that bend. I am bending it back a little bit more. That is a pretty good bend, you ask me. I wish someone else could bend it and I could actually record it. But that is pretty good. Pretty darn good if you ask me. So I feel like it has, although it feels stiffer than some of my other rods, you know, it is a light tackle rod. You gotta have that stiffer flex to set the hook on fish. And I like it, you know. Like I said, I'm gonna be Ned rigging with this too. I'll likely Jika rig too. Heck no, I will Jika rig because I like Jika rig over the Ned rig. I use a Jika rig using Ned plastic because that's my style. Anyway, enough rambling. I hope you guys have enjoyed this cast testing video. If you guys want to see me actually hook up fish with this rod, you guys definitely want to stay tuned for that. It's probably gonna happen, I don't know, a month later because Jimbo hates the cold and Jimbo's heading out. Thank you for watching The Fish Don't Wait. Leave me a comment below if you guys have any questions about this rod or anything else I have portrayed today in this video. Thank you for watching. Stay warm and dry.